One of the burning questions in the Star Wars sequel trilogy has all to do with the character of Supreme Leader Snoke and his real identity in the Star Wars sequel trilogy that was created by J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people are questioning themselves, including myself, has all to do with Snoke's identity, who he really is, where he comes from, how did he build the First Order, and exactly how did he really turn Ben Solo to the dark side of the Force. There's a lot of questions about the character of Snoke that are to be answered in Episode 9 by JJ, a character in which JJ created. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with a major hint and or indicator of Snoke's real identity being explained in Star Wars Episode 9. Specifically, a description of Supreme Leader Snoke appearing far younger, without his injuries, with fine blonde hair on his head in a black robe. It's described that Snoke is standing on a stage delivering a speech to many political figures. It's described that Snoke appears to be a political figure in the sequence. The next goes over an older Snoke, now with his injuries and appearing as he did in The Last Jedi, next to Kylo Ren with his hand on Kylo's shoulder. The sequence describes it as Evandor Snoke's lecture of politics to Ben Solo. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this that really do get me very excited about Episode 9, and of course the burning questions that are to be answered in this movie from The Force Awakens. So, Supreme Leader Snoke, who is he? For the longest time we've been wondering exactly who this character really is, and this is definitely a major hint and or indicator of Snoke's real identity in the Star Wars universe, and could definitely offer a lot of answers as to how General Leia Organa and Han Solo know about Supreme Leader Snoke. So, first things first, I believe that Snoke is definitely hidden within the story of Bloodline. Now, Bloodline actually goes over the whole entire political side of Star Wars before the events of the sequel trilogy, 5 years to be exact. It goes over Leia's life, and it goes over everything that has to do with politics. So, with Supreme Leader Snoke, alright, in the flashback sequence from what it seems, where he has no injuries, he has fine blonde hair, and he's in a black robe, delivering a speech to a lot of political figures, and it's definitely described that he is appearing as if he is a political figure from the uniform that he's wearing. Now, the dead giveaway here that he is indeed a politician is when it goes over how Evandor Snoke is actually lecturing politics to the character of Ben Solo. So we heard about this name before a couple of days ago, right? Evandor Snoke. Now, to me, it sounds like a very interesting name because I'm not quite sure about the real meaning to it. But if you think about Palpatine, his real name, indeed, is, of course, Sheev Palpatine. So Evandor Snoke doesn't sound as weird as Sheev, in my opinion. It sounds more classy of a character. But if we look at Episode 9 as a whole, I'm not quite sure what J.J. Abrams plans to do when it comes to the revelation of Snoke in this movie. We do know that he will be offering tons of revelations for all of the characters in the sequel trilogy, one of which includes the character of Supreme Leader Snoke, revealing his real name, which is leaked, and of course his actual identity, who he really is, where he comes from, how he built the First Order, and exactly how he turned Ben Solo to the dark side of the Force. So, the character of Snoke, we do know that they're actually going to be dropping this comic line called Age of Resistance exactly 1 month before the release of Episode 9. That's going to offer a lot of revelations and surprises and reveals. Hopefully some of that will also be explained in the actual movie itself as opposed to just a comic. But as far as this goes, this is the closest thing that we have to Snoke's identity actually being explained in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and that is of course him being an actual politician connected to General Leia Organa. And I have reason to believe that he got his disfigurements from the napkin bombing. I don't know if you guys heard about the napkin bombing, but that's an actual thing that happened in the Bloodline novel, in which, you know, the ANAKIN warriors, I believe, initiated it, and there's reason to believe that Snoke was actually in the building when it happened, hence why he's got those horrible, you know, scars and injuries on his face, and his spine is all twisted. He's got a lot of issues, right? And we also know, this was explained earlier, that he does have a grudge against the Resistance based on something from the past. So you can see all of the connections being made here, from The Force Awakens to, of course, the books and the novels out there that are indeed canon under the Disney era of Star Wars. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.